We're back. It's the Kovacs Report. Me and Jimmy X talking about comics. Jim, it's been a strange week in comics, my friend.
Yes.
I'm going to have a little cough there, clear my throat. But, spoiler show, we're going to tell you everything that happens in the books. Read them if you got them. I'm going to give something away. 2 good books, which I'm going to gush all over, and 2 other books, which I am not going to gush over. So if you don't like me ranting, skip those parts, because it is coming. There's some bad books this week, and we're going to save you money by telling you which ones they are. So, should we jump into the comics, mate?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to start this week with Skin Police. Now, this is by Jordan Thomas and Daniel Gee. I interviewed Jordan Thomas the other week, so if you haven't watched that interview, it's on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, you'd know that, because only 50% of you people subscribe. So help us out, other 50%. If you're watching the show, subscribe. Thank you very much. And I'll get straight into the review. Skin Police number 2. Now, this is only press, and last time we did Skin Police, it was my my book of the week. It was amazing. So Skin Police, as a quick catch-up, explores the lives of dupes, which are genetically engineered clones who often transform into violent, uncontrollable entities due to some kind of biological flaw. Now, the story is set in a dystopian 2142, where the United Nations of Europe has tasked the DIC, which is like an organisation, they tasked the DIC and their agents to track these guys down, hunt them down, and kill them. So the DIC are unaffectionately known as the Skin Police, hence the title. All right, so issue 1 was an absolute blinder, and issue 2 is no different.
Agreed.
Right? Oh, so you've read it too, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, just a little bit more catch up. The sort of poster child agent for the Skin Police is Brisson Eckes, who along with his rookie, Sheen Korfer, they're investigating another potential dupe at the beginning of this issue, right? So it's a wife of a potential dupe who's essentially done a run, and she's trying to protect her husband like she would, and she spins this elaborate story that he's left her and he's run off another woman, which obviously isn't true, but Eckes, this ain't his first rodeo, right? He knows she's lying, right? And eventually we learn that he's somewhere in a van, along with many other potential dupes, being transported out of the country by smugglers, all right? They're all restrained in case they dupe out in the van, because if they do that, they turn into, like, you know, horrible, dangerous, unstoppable monster killers, and we don't want that, right? So, parallel to this, the dupe Lacey Dodd, who narrowly escaped being terminated by the Skin Police in issue 1, she finds herself under the protection, or maybe the influence, of Heath Noxon, right? And he's this enigmatic leader of the dupe underground rebel network. Now, Lacey's new alliance with Noxon may come at high costs, right? And she's uncertain whether her escape has either brought her safety or more danger. Now, these rebels have discovered a drug they can give to dupes after they change, or, you know, as the change starts, that controls that genetic reaction for a time and keeps them human. Now, she's got a PhD in medical chemistry, and they want her to work with their scientists to engineer a more permanent drug. But first, they got to lock her in a cell so she can start duping out, because that's when they can give her this temporary medicine, right, to stay human. So that's all happening parallel to the other story, The Agent. So back to the dupe smugglers, right? So the Skin Police, right, now they know what's going on. They've got a team intercepting this van before it can leave the country. And soon after they stop the van, they realise it's actually a trap, and they're attacked by armed members of the rebel underground, right? They've been waiting for them. This whole van full of, dupes was a white whale, as they call it, right? And they want Eckes, because he's the big prize, right? He's the most famous, most notorious DIC agent, and capturing him would be an absolute, like, boon for them. So after a huge shootout, they finally subdue the attackers. Some of them escape, and they open up to find that some of the gunfire has pierced the van. It's freed one of the dupes from his restraints, and they are met with a very, very bloody pile of dead bodies, with the remaining dupe holding someone's intestines, grinning ear to ear, preaching to the Lord of Mutilation that he has prepared many gifts. It's brilliant. I loved it, right? So he's executing a really cool, poignant 4-panel page. You know, you can really see the effects of seeing these monsters. Like, one of the agents is throwing up. Eckes is just like, oh God, here we go again. And he has to pop him, slot him, get rid of him. And it's just done really well. It's real, like, almost silent 4 panels, which are done so well. So the issue ends with Lacey Dodd taking the drugs to keep her more human, before she decides to join the Devils. The Devils? Are they Devils? The Rebels or not? So this is first class. I loved it. Every page was a delight. And the art further advanced this great story. This art is perfect for this story. The art is amazing. So hats off to Daniel Gete. I cannot recommend it enough. Like I said, during issue 1, it's a breath of fresh air. One of my favourite titles in years. And if you're on the fence about getting onto this book, do yourself a favour. Buy it. Then once the series is finished, buy 2 of the collections so you can keep one and give one to someone else so they can enjoy the Skin Police, right? So I'm going to mention Daniel Gete again. Yeah, the art on this book is incredible, and I'm going to buy everything this man has drawn and will draw in the future till the end of time. It just elevates this book to the next level with every single pen stroke. So that is my amazing review for Skin Police, because it is amazing. I love this book. I love it so much, and I'm glad that you're reading it now. So do you have any thoughts, Jim? I know it's my review, but you might have something to add.
I mean, Jordan Thomas is definitely one of our creators to watch. He's up there with Daniel Warren Johnson and Zach Thompson. Those 3 are creating really interesting, exciting stuff. And this is an original plot that I bet a Hollywood screenwriter kicked themselves for not coming up with. Yeah, just absolutely fantastic stuff, and I can't wait to read more.
I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. So moving on to one of yours. So the next part of this Batman All In thingy. I read the first issue. So how did the second issue go, Jim?
Insane. In a word, insane.
Insane.
So anyway, yeah, Batman issue 154, published by DC, written by Chip Zdarsky, with art by Carmine Giandomenico, with a cover art by Jorge Jimenez. When we last left the Cape Crusader, his many problems have started to mount up in Gotham City, with the Riddler seemingly going straight, the shadowy Court of Owls threatening to rear their heads again, and a claim for half the shares in his company from someone claiming to be his brother.
That's right.
And on top of all that, he's had to deal with a violent new vigilante, Commander Starr, and the current mayor of Gotham has just been found shot dead. So Harvey Bullock interviews the mayor's wife, who refuses to unlock her phone for some reason. Batman wastes no time talking to the mayor's assistant, who mentions that the biggest thorns in the mayor's side were, unsurprisingly, the Riddler, Edward Nygma, and a businessman, Leonid Cole. As luck would have it, the Dark Knight tracks them both down to a restaurant. Cole is revealed to be the brand new leader of the Court of Owls and has the police attempt to subdue and arrest Batman. Cole said he didn't kill the mayor, but boasts that he could if he wanted to. Back to Bruce's long-lost brother that I mentioned. His old friend, Dr. Leslie Tompkins, who worked with his father at Gotham General, confides that his father had an affair with a nurse where they all worked. This sends Bruce spiraling until her clinic is attacked by protesters of Wayne Enterprises, desperate to lynch the billionaire for daring to give Gotham free housing and healthcare.
What a terror.
The scrum is broken up. I know, right? What an asshole. The scrum is broken up by the arrival of Commander Starr, who saves Bruce from them. Back at the crime scene, Batman tells Jim Gordon that the mayor's hands were covered in bleach to remove the killer's DNA, and he was shot by someone with precision aim. Then Bullock contacts Batman to say that he's got into Kayuki, the mayor's wife's phone, and there were texts, a lot of them. It's not exactly a smoking gun, but it's close. And then Batman is confronted by his friend Jim Gordon wielding a gun, muttering, "I didn't mean to. I was defending myself. You have to believe me."
What's going on?
As the issue ends, Batman flies into a rage, punching out Gordon, yelling, "You dare to point a gun at me? At me?" And the two slumped to the ground. This was, in a word, batshit. It was crazy. It was Zdarsky throwing everything at the wall. I can't wait to see where it goes next. Yeah, really
you
cool
enjoyed
stuff.
it, yeah?
Yeah, really did.
I'm not sure I like some of that, to be honest.
I didn't know where it was going next. It was insane.
Like, I don't think Bruce would punch Gordon out. They've been friends so long. He'd think like something's not right.
He broke the man's glasses, Angelo.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm having trouble dealing with this. Like, they've been friends. He gives like Two-Face the benefit of the doubt, you know, and this other. He'd give Gordon the sort of, all right, let's sit down. I don't think he'd just go mad, like, don't point a gun at me.
Because it's someone that he knows and trusts, and it's been a friend for so long, and he dares to point a gun, knowing.
I know, but then Bruce would be like, well, this isn't Gordon. What's going on? He's the world's greatest detective, right?
I don't know what's going on here. I don't know whether the Court of Owls are involved, or the Riddler, or Commander Star, or something. But I don't know. All is not as it seems, and I can't wait to see what Zdarsky does next before he leaves the book, because he's wrapping up his run in. And Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee are back, aren't they?
They are indeed, which will be very interesting to see. Yeah. All right, so a thumbs up from you. So with the good, Jim,
definitely.
With the good, there must come the bad, the yin and yang.
I feel
Ultimates 6.
Oh, really? Why are you still looking at this book?
I love Ultimate Spider-Man, and I know this is going to tie in.
Same.
And I just want to be in the know. Honestly, I joke about it all the time, but this does feel like self-harm sometimes. The Ultimate 6, Marvel, written by Deniz Camp, art by Juan Frigeri. All right. So, Deniz Camp continues his pointless run on Ultimates with another forgettable issue. Although, I'll be honest, out of all 6 issues so far, this isn't the worst, right? But it does cement my belief that Deniz Camp has no idea how to write these characters at all. They are just so off. They're not even like, oh yeah, but they're alternate universe, so they're bound to be. No, they're just off, Anyways, let's get into this issue as fast as we can. So Iron Lad, with absolutely no lead up to this at all, right? No lead up, has his ultimate Avengers, not including Doom, who's back at the lab having an existential crisis, standing outside the entrance to a damage control black site that they suspect is a prison where the Makers Council has apparently incarcerated some powered heroes. They have a real long chat outside this place, right? Where he explains the mission in full, warning them of all the dangers beyond the entrance. Rather than brief the team somewhere else before the mission, so that when they do go to this place to perform this rescue, right, they know what they're getting into. They're not giving the time that the villains need to prepare for the attack because they're watching on security cameras, right? There's no element of surprise. It just doesn't make sense. It's just like you don't take a whole team of people that you're about to attack someone, stand outside their house for 10 minutes discussing what you're going to do so they can see you, and then anyway. So yeah, he stands outside the doorway at this high-tech facility. Like I said, will definitely have some surveillance cameras, giving whoever's in there plenty of time to get ready for the fight, right? Again, this plot is plucked out of thin air with no lead up in previous issues, with a one-panel explanation that Iron Lad is intercepting some communications from some bad guys, and it's mission time. So they burst in through the entrance, and guess what? Surprise! Can you guess, Jim? It's a trap. We didn't see that coming. We did not see that coming. No, neither did we see Ultimate Hulk sitting there all zen-like with a pot of tea in the middle of this courtyard, right? And then suddenly, any escape routes suddenly magically sealed. They are trapped, and they're given the choice of drinking the poison tea, right, for a quick, painless death, or have a huge fight with Hulk's team of completely forgettable villains, all right? Naturally, an epic fight, an epic battle ensues, and we're treated as something Camp loves to do. Big caption boxes with over-elaborate names for the power moves the villains are doing that add nothing to the book or the story, much like the 1970s dialogue that we have to put up with through the entire issue. It is just so off-putting. Parallel to this, Doom, while he's not being the worst incarnation of Doom Reed Richards ever, notices that the communication signal between the team and him has gone down, and he's frantically trying to contact them, right? Which I'll come back to later. So he's doing that while this epic battle continues. Now, the Wasp gets swallowed and she bursts through the body as she grows bigger of the villain. Iron Lad gets crushed by Zen Hulk. She-Hulk has her hand crushed and destroyed down to the wrist. And just as it's about to be all over for them, Doom establishes a signal and teleports them to safety. But oh no, guess what? Iron Lad is dead. All right. Now, oh my God. If I was given the chance to read this again or drink Ultimate Hulk's poison tea, I would say milk and 2 sugars, please. And I don't even take sugar. Now, before I completely write this book off, which I'm going to, if the writing and all the stupid power move captions and outdated dialogue were written by someone who understood how to write modern, grittier superheroes, this would have been pretty good. But alas, Mark Miller was busy. So we got this 6th issue of complete trash, which does not move the arc and overall story close to whatever has been building up, in the previous issues. Iron Lad is dead for now. And guess what? I don't care. None of this resonated with me, and I wouldn't recommend it. It was awful. It was trash. And I'm going to get to this, right? Because a lot of people out there, I'm going to talk about this when I talk about the other book that's coming, about why these books are getting such rave reviews by all the critics. But I'm going to save that gem for later. So, Jimmy, it's a massive thumbs down. Did you read it?
No, I haven't read any of the Ultimates. So I don't think you should either.
No,
I think
you're
I should
right.
stage an intervention to help you because you keep inflicting this on yourself. Bad enough there was Amazing Spider-Man, but that's over now, right?
You think Zeb Wells wasn't enough? I'm doing this, but listen, you've done yourself a favour, and I'm going to do you a favour, and I'm going to move on to the next book. You do love these little, tie-ins, don't you?
Yeah. DuckTales issue 1.
I sense something
Dynamite,
bad coming from Nice Guy Jim.
Written by Brandon Montclare with art by Tommaso Ronda and cover art by Ivan Begarella, and that is a lovely, lovely cover there. So I've been a huge fan of DuckTales animated series since I was very young. I really enjoyed the recent version of the show, which featured David Tennant as the voice of everyone's favourite avian bajillionaire. So I couldn't wait to read what Scrooge McDuck and his nephews would get up to. I mean, life is like a hurricane in Duckburg, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
No?
Wrong. This first issue is more like swimming in treacle than a money bin. With Scrooge spending quality time with his 3 nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, by making them count his fortune while they groan and protest, wanting to hear stories about their uncle's legendary exploits as a treasure hunter. This continues until Huey mentions he has a money-making idea. Now this piques Scrooge's interest, because it would. He literally marches them across town to his home in McDuck Manor, and when he arrives, he forgets why they came there. Telling them to find something to do while he works on something. The boys demand to hear how he found all the various artifacts he keeps showing them, and he regales them with this information. And the art
Jimmy,
style
just a minute.
switches...
We've had a technical issue. There we go. Taking it back to DuckTales. Sorry. Carry on.
Okay. And then the art style switches to that about the classic Carl Barks Uncle Scrooge comics and a really nice artistic touch. And then finally he reveals a treasure map to his nephews. But the twist is, it's not in faraway lands. It's a map of the treasure hidden in Duckburg.
I'm taking you didn't enjoy this.
I really wanted to. I love DuckTales. It's a favourite of mine. Scrooge McDuck's one of my all-time favourite characters. And Marvel did this better with Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime, which was my book of the week months ago.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
But DuckTales is the whole conceit is treasure hunting in different countries across the world. The globe hopping. I wanted race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. I wanted a Duck Blur, and all I got was just an unfulfilling, unsatisfying story. I don't think I'm going back for any more.
I'm sorry, mate. At least it wasn't Ultimate 6, right? Thumbs down from Jim. Wow, that's a rare occasion, but woo, it's definitely bad then. If Jim says it's bad, it really is. So I keep saying the word bad, Jim. Do you know why? I'm segueing. Negasonic Teenage Warhead #1.
Yeah, this wasn't even on my radar, I have to admit. I saw the cover and I was just like, nah.
Yep. So obviously Marvel, written by Andrew Wheeler, art by Carola Borelli. So Negasonic Teenage Warhead, cool character, right? Deadpool on the cover, even cooler. I'm thinking this could be something fun, something tongue-in-cheek, something breaking, a bit of a romp of a book. Nope. Go on, say it.
Well, Negasonic Teenage Warhead was created by Grant Morrison during his run on New X-Men.
That's right.
And she was dead in her first appearance. She died in the attack on Genosha.
True.
And then they brought her into the Deadpool movies.
So that to resurrect her in the books. Mate, this was trash. This was beyond trash. I have no idea. I'm going to get to this reviewing thing. I have no idea how reviews on the big sites are raving about this book, right? Actually, I do, right? Just like many, many gaming journalists right now, they do not want to write bad reviews because they stop that gravy train of free advance books. And this is a problem in gaming, and I think it's a problem in comic books. It's like that. Like there's not many honest, like, professional critics. I mean, I'm finding.
If you don't tell the truth, you're pretty much turning in your integrity, though, right?
Yeah, but they don't care because they're getting free books and they're getting paid, and that's the problem. That's the whole point of this show. Is that as annoying as I am, as terrible human being I am about some of this stuff, I'm being honest. And I know it's my opinion, yours, other people's will differ, but I know that I'm giving an honest opinion. Clear and simple. This book was toilet paper, right? I'm gonna get into it. What happened in this book, Jim? I don't even know why I want to tell you, but it was hard work, right? So Deadpool and Negasonic, they've got this job to hunt down a pig, right, who's eating humans, right? And that's the first few pages of the book, right? They manage to capture it and banish it into a pocket dimension, right? And they do this because Negasonic explains she has these visions of possible futures, and in those visions she has specific powers. So if she chooses that future path, she will gain that power, all right? So that's where this is going. Anyway, once this pig is dispatched, right, she has another vision of her kissing her girlfriend in the future, right? And she knows she has to make this future happen because the universe will end if they don't kiss. The only problem is she's never met this girl, right? She's never met her, and she doesn't know where she is. Anyway, Deadpool fucks off. So she contacts Emma Frost, her mentor, who has all the Marvel women all group up in like a group therapy session in a telepathic mind meeting, right? And then she gets some good girl advice, all right? After that, the TVA, I'm just going to paraphrase it. The TVA turn up because they want to erase her because she's affecting the future. There's a fight scene, which is boring. It's followed by pages and pages and pages of soul-destroying, excessively dialogued, pointless pages. Bad story, poor action. It just goes on and on and on. At some point, a Negasonic Galactus turns up, which you think would be cool. It wasn't. There's more forced humour and just more pages of a writer clearly thinking he's being really clever, with his plot and dialogue. I could feel him patting on his back thinking he's genius. He isn't, right? So how does it end? Nobody cares, Jim. I could not get to the end of it. It was that bad. And I tried. I was forcing myself. I said, listen, I owe it to our viewers to push through and read the whole book. Even though it's so terrible, I told myself, I'm going to do it. And it just wouldn't end. And then to make things worse, Jim, I found out it was 44 pages long. It was a double issue. And I just couldn't do it, mate. I was like, I'm handing it in, chucking the towel, I'm tapping out. This has to be one of the worst books I've read this year. I do not recommend it. Such a wasted opportunity to do sort of classic style Deadpool runs. The cool, funny Deadpool runs like Dead Presidents, the Dugan, the Poshin runs, and all the other runs like that. Have some fun with it. Yeah. They didn't. They just literally took a shit all over this character. I don't know why they bothered. So thumbs down.
Should I tell you what you should have done instead of reading and reviewing this book? You should have listened to Negasonic Teenage Warhead by Monster Magnet.
What's that?
Stoner metal band. Well, it's the song that she's named after. Negasonic Teenage Warhead
right, the song okay.
by Monster Magnet. Yeah. I saw them at the Reading Festival, and they were really, really cool. They played that song live. It's awesome. Yeah.
I better look that up, Jim. Thanks, yeah, thank you. A little pop fact from Jimmy there. Okay, moving on. Now, before you review this, I'm not going to interrupt you. I really wanted to review this, but I knew you wanted to review it as well. So I was like, Jimmy can review it. But I'm going to say that I read it.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna pop some thoughts in at the end. So,
yeah, sure.
Number one, all in.
Batgirl issue 1. Yeah, published by DC, written by Tate Brombal, I'm not familiar with art by Takeshi Miyazawa, who I am familiar with because he was a fill-in artist on Runaways, the really nice stuff on that, and also the really cute romance story, comic Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane with Sean McKeever. I used to love that book too. Yeah, really cool stuff from Takeshi Miyazawa. With cover art, by David Talaski. So Cassandra Cain, one of the coolest characters ever created, the silent ninja Batgirl, and the offspring of 2 deadly assassins taken under Batman's wing and used as a force for good. Now, as we know, I'm all in on DC, so I was over the moon to spot the return of Cassandra Cain to a Bat title this week.
Yeah, me too.
This first issue sees Cassandra's estranged mother, Lady Shiva, returning to Gotham, contacting her daughter with a dire warning. The deadly assassins are coming to kill them both. Batgirl, no longer mute, I'm not quite sure why, but there we go, tells her flatly just to leave Gotham. But Shiva warns that the killers will find her misfit family. I guess she's referring to the birds of prey, right? And take them out too. In a really nice sequence, said assassins arrive to kill the pair, uttering the mantra, "What is buried always comes to light." With the enemy overwhelming them, Shiva smashes them both out of the window, knowing that Batgirl will glide them to safety. They start heading to the Temple of Shiva, where she says they'll be safe. Before they get there, there's a massive explosion, and it's a temple of Shiva. When the dynamic duo arrive at the Shiva's burning temple, they find the assassins have taken out the temple guards already, and they're in for the fight of their lives as the issue reaches conclusion. Yes, this is what I wanted from a book. Non-stop action, really cool dynamic between mother and daughter. Yes, sign me up. I'll buy every issue of this book. Thank you.
Amazing. Do you want to hear my thoughts, Jim?
Go for it.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The way they've written, the way she talks, that sort of stunted, very short, very perfect.
Yeah, because she was mute when I used to read it.
Yeah,
so like I said, I've been away for a while, so I don't quite know what happened. But
this book was just, again, I know I use this phrase a lot, it's pure joy. It was brilliant. I loved it. It was fast paced. It was fun. The art was just beautiful. I cannot wait to read this run. And if they carry on the way they started, this is going to be one of those runs you remember. So good.
It's easily up there with Kelly Puckett and Damon Scott in the early 2000s. Easily.
If it was in my batch of reviews, it would be a contender for Book of the Week.
Well, thank you for conceding. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. You have to put up my ranting. Okay. Aliens versus Avengers 2, written by Mr. Jonathan Hickman and art by Esad Ribić. Oh, sit down, guys. This is going to be a little bit longer review, but it deserves it. Now, before you stop watching, don't, because I'm going to tell you right now, Aliens versus Avengers 2, much like Aliens versus Avengers 1, is an absolute masterclass in storytelling, character writing, and art. In fact, I would say that this, along with Ultimate Spider-Man, are the best books Marvel is publishing right now. Jonathan Hickman and Esad Ribić, I salute you. Not that you'll ever watch my show, but if you do, know that I've saluted you. This was absolutely incredible. So quick catch up. It's set in dystopian near future with older versions of Iron Man, Captain America. Sorry, not Captain America. Well, he is there, but anyway. Captain Marvel, Hulk, and Miles Morales as Spider-Man. And they are battling a xenomorph invasion, which has reduced the population to maybe a few thousand survivors now. Realizing all hope is lost of saving Earth, and they have fought to save it, they are faced with the terrible decision to abandon Earth or stay and inevitably die. So that's where we are, all right? There's also a little thing that happened in the last issue with the Venom symbiote saving Miles Morales from a facehugger he took over. Yeah, it doesn't play anything in this issue, but I thought I mentioned it anyway. So issue starts with a flashback to another time in another universe 1,000 odd years ago, where 3 David synthetics, which are the androids the Wayland Corporation created to assist humanity, right? They've essentially become gods. They've systematically been traveling their universe, eradicating all forms and life, and have now arrived at the final planet with any life on it, the planet of the Engineers. Now, this is the race that created all life in their universe, including the humans who created the synthetics themselves, right? And we also have learned through films and the comics that the xenomorphs took the black goo the Engineers made and created the xenomorphs. Right, so the Engineers created humans created the synthetics created the xenomorphs. So it's this whole full circle thing, right? And now, ironically enough, they're using these xenomorphs, right, to fulfill this genocidal mission of theirs to remove all life from the universe. So, as I said, it's come full circle. There's no remorse. They completely eradicate this Engineer race like ants, as one of the David puts it. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. So well done. Then we jump 100 years into the future, where the Davids have cleansed the universe of life and discovered a way to travel to other universes to continue their purge, which has now landed them in the Marvel universe. All right? We get another quick flashback that shows an aging, wheelchair-bound Tony Stark selling his company to the Wayland Corporation. And one of the Davids is uncharacteristically surprised by this mere human, right? And he arrogantly tries to goad and ridicule Tony, who, as we know, if he's written correctly, is one of the most intelligent and strategic minds in the world. He throws it back at the David and says, "This was all part of my plan. I know what you really are. How long does the human race have before you destroy it?" So after only have only 20 years, he rips the synthetic's head off. And then we jump 20 years into the future to the present time in the future where Tony, Captain Marvel, Miles Morales, and Bruce Banner are facing that tough decision that they need to abandon Earth. So Tony and Captain Marvel reveal that the building that they are in is actually this huge escape spaceship, right? And the city's been built around this ship to hide it, basically. It's like it's camouflage. They realise there is really no other option, and they've not heard from any outposts or anyone else for that matter for such a long time that they must be dead. So they, along with the 1,400 people that are left in the city, are leaving, and they're going to recolonize on another planet, right, to give the human race a second chance and a chance at avoiding extinction. So preparing for launch, they send the War Machine armors out to destroy all the worlds to keep the Xenomorphs out. But one section does not go boom, as they put it. And that's because Captain America, with a bit of beard, a white beard, is leading hundreds of survivors through the hole in the wall into the city to try and save them now. But the problem is now there's a hole in the wall. Thousands and thousands of Xenomorphs are going to start pouring through and killing everybody. Now, Cap and the survivors are about half a mile away, and they will never reach the ship in time, right, before it takes off. Unless, of course, they abort the launch, which then means that those Xenomorphs are coming and everyone's going to die. And that's the end of the human race. So faced with this heartbreaking decision to sacrifice the few to save the many, the launch continues. But Bruce, he can't live with that decision. So he hulks the fuck out like Hulk does and leaps the captain's location, and he starts smashing Xenomorphs. It is really, really well done. Now, once the ship is in space, the heroes you can see they are wrestling with this decision they've had to make, right? And you can just feel it's palpable that they've walked away from their friends, they've let people die, right? But then, as a little epilogue, we go elsewhere to learn that a few of those engineers have survived, right? They are pissed off. They're not happy, and they're looking for infected planets to put an end to the Xenomorphs once and for all. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Like I said in the intro, issue 2 is packed with non-stop, pitch-perfect storytelling. I was on the edge of my chair the entire time. Now, franchise crossovers, in my opinion, are almost always terrible, but this is first class. And if I haven't
they usually are, aren't they? Yeah.
They are, mate. And if I haven't
They
praised
usually are.
they are usually complete and utter toilet roll. Now, if I haven't praised the art enough, I should, because Esad Ribić is on fire in this book, and every page is stunning and flawless. It is the perfect book, right? It is amazing. I 100% recommend it. I want everyone to read it. I wish he'd done this with this new Wolverine book, Wolverine Revenge. But anyway, we won't talk about that this week. But 100% recommend. Beautiful book. So there we go. So unlike last week, where the I support Jim crew out there, I raise my hand to you guys. Thank you for watching. I accidentally almost cut you off from the last review because usually I go last, so I'm not going to do that this week. There you go, Jim.
Well, that's a relief. Thank you very much.
You've got some staunch followers out there, and I love every single one of them, right? Thanks for watching the show, guys.
I mean, sure, yeah, thanks, guys. Right, Absolute Superman issue 1, published by DC, written by Jason Aaron, and with art and cover art by Rafa Sandoval, who was not the original artist on this book.
True.
Original artist on this book was Raphael Albuquerque, who recently did an issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and also worked with Scott Snyder on American Vampire. Because he lives in Brazil, and there were floods that basically stopped him from participating on this book. But anyway, I've really been enjoying Jason Aaron's excellent work on Ninja Turtles so far. So this reimagining of Superman under both DC's All-In and Absolute banners was very high on my list of books to read. Opening on Planet Krypton with, it must be said, stunningly beautiful crystalline cityscapes depicted by artist Rafa Sandoval. It's a shock to learn that now Superman's father Jor-El is not a top scientist, but a lowly member of the House of El, a working-class labourer to other higher castes, such as the Science League. And so he's in a mine. He's wearing his iconic S symbol as a badge of shame, but he's no dullard. He was laughed out of his graduation from the Science Academy due to his stance on the pillaging of Krypton's natural resources. Knowing in his heart that this is rotting the planet from within, we see him injured in a mining accident. Before cutting to present day Brazil, and more mining. This time, diamond mining for the Lazarus Corp. The miners are being forced by goons clad in classic Peacemaker garb, which is a nice touch, I thought.
I like that. I like that.
At gunpoint to mine diamonds in an asbestos-filled environment for a hefty bonus. However, when they enter the mines, they find the asbestos mysteriously gone, and the diamonds are all mined and crushed already for them. Unsurprisingly, the Peacemakers don't take very kindly to this miracle, as whoever it is has been hitting similar mines owned by the Lazarus Corp all over the world for the best part of a year. They threaten the miners until Superman actually turns up to kick Lazarus' butt and rescue the workers. He also has a cool Iron Man style armor with a voice that talks to him now. So anyway, he decimates the forces until a ton of reinforcements show up to handcuff and arrest him pretty easily, it must be said. And his captor, Agent Lois Lane, yeah, that's right, Lois Lane, threatens to fry his face. And then we end with some X-Men style from the Ashes QR code post-credits. Brainiac is monitoring the scene from deep under the Nevada desert, and a wrecked abandoned Kent farmhouse in Kansas has a sign that it's now owned by the Lazarus Corporation. Finally, there's a flashback to Jor-El returning to his family after the accident, telling them they have to work together to save Krypton, punctuated with a fissure opening not far away in the fields near their home. Yeah, this was a solid book. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. But Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman, is a clear winner.
True.
In this absolute launch so far. With, for me, Batman picking up a close second. That's just me. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that. I'll probably pick up the next one and see where this goes. Some intriguing concepts and ideas being laid out here by Aaron. Yeah, pretty cool.
Didn't blow you away though, did it, Jim?
No, it wasn't.
It didn't blow me away either.
Not, like Wonder Woman. No,
Wonder Woman was just so good.
True.
I just found it very pedestrian, very middle of the road, very safe. I don't know. There was little things like, why would I said it in my other review, the other video, right? Like, why? Number one, why would Superman mine the diamonds so they can get their bonus and give it to the terrible corporation? Why would he not free them from this? Give them the diamonds so they can. It's weird. And then and also the naming structure of some of these like houses of Krypton, like the middle management like league. That's so cheese. Like really couldn't think of anything more Kryptonian, more interesting. There was something. Sorry, excuse me.
The League of Dwight Schrute. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It just felt so middle of the road. It didn't excite me. I mean, I like the idea Lois Lane's the agent. She's eventually going to turn against them and help him. And the fact that he needs to recharge, the power. There's lots of nice elements in it, but the whole thing itself just didn't have the glue that made you go, wow.
I mean, I enjoyed it the same as any other Superman book, the same as Action, same as Superman that I'm reading at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah, pretty good.
Let's hope it gets better. So we're at the time of the week, Jim. Book of the week. What do you reckon?
Yeah, there's no question. There's no question this week. It's Batgirl issue 1. I can't wait for more of that.
Excellent. I'm glad you chose
back,
that
Cassandra
one.
Cain.
Yeah, welcome back. We missed you. For me, I'm going to pull ranking, and I've got to do 2. I can't do 1. I can't. It's joint. It is. It's Skin Police and Aliens versus Avengers. They're the books of the week. They're just too good. I just can't choose between them. I can't. They are amazing. I recommend you buy both. And with that, Jimmy, we're going to have a look into next week. So what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to reading. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be reviewing. But I'm looking forward to reading Transformers issue 13.
Right.
Uncanny X-Men issue 5. And G.I. Joe issue 1. Yeah, those all look really interesting.
Okay. Absolutely Batman's obviously out next week, right, as well. So probably both.
Yes, yeah.
We're going to see if like I said in the other video, if the ghost of Zeb Wells is affecting the first issue of the new creative team's Amazing Spider-Man. So we're going to look at that.
Well, he didn't neatly put his toys back in the box, did he?
No, he said you have to play with them, basically. He went, you have to play with this.
He threw them all over the floor.
Yeah. What else have I got? Gatchaman June one-shot. She's my favourite from the Gatchaman anyway, so that should be interesting. There's a couple others as well, but those are the 2 big ones for me. So with that, Jim, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, because like I joked about earlier, only half of the people who actually watch the show subscribe to the show. And the more subscribers we get, the better it is, the more we can do this. So please subscribe. We do appreciate those who watch nonetheless. So thank you very much. Take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.